What's up, guys? My name is Kris Marquez, and this past weekend I went to the Indiana Regional tournament, and I topped 64 the event. I got 32nd place, and without further ado, here's my deck profile. I played Prank Kid or Brave Prank Kid DPE. So let's go into it. So we start off with three fansies. Um, other than Dropsies and Lampsies, this is like the best prank kid to start with. You usually don't want to open it; you just want to get it out so you can dump and chain block with your doodle doo. But this is one of the better prank kids. So you play three of these, then three Dropsies, gain 1,000. Helps you a lot in time. Three Lampsies, same thing with this card, helps you a lot in time. Either this or Dropsies, are either or. They're the better starters in the deck. If you draw into them, you're starting with these cards mainly. And then two Roxys. I only like playing two Roxys because I feel like this card's a brick. If you play three, it's not wrong, but I preferably just play two because there's times where you open your 5 card hand, and if you see this card and no other prank kid, you're negging a card just to get this effect, to just to resolve this effect. And sometimes that card could be a hand trap or just a going second a going second card that ends your opponent's turn or whatever. And sometimes you need to get rid of that card just to extend with this card. So I only played two. I also kept siding this card out in the event, but I did stop doing that after, like, I want to say round 4. I stopped doing that because it was I needed the second Roxy's, but I didn't have it. I sided it out. So never if you're playing two, never just side them out. But yeah, so two Roxy's, and then for the Brave engine, we just played with 3 Enchantress and 1 Rider. Also, I kept siding out 1 Enchantress, going like, if I took my game 1 or lost my game 1, I would always side out the Enchantress because sometimes you draw multiples of these, and it's a good extender, but to some extent where if this gets belled or it gets Ash, it's kind of like dead in the water. But if you hard open this card, it's really good. If you hard open both of these two, or you hard open the right, it's just crazy. So, and then for hand traps, 3 Lancia and 3 Ash. Lancia put so much work in this week. I'm not kidding. I think this card is just insanely broken. Ash was just generic. It did what it needed to do. I didn't hate it, nor did I think that it was like the best hand trap. Lancia for sure was the best hand trap at the tournament. And then the 2 bricks, Celestial and Dasher. There was only a few matches where I drew either or. I didn't really see them, like, I didn't really open them all day. But either way, if you resolve Fusion Destiny, it's just crazy. So that's it for the monsters. For the spells, 3 field spell. This card's, if you see this card, it's like crazy good. Like opening this and another and a name is just crazy. 2 Pandemonium. I cut it down to 2. Because a lot of decks I've seen playing only play 2. And there is, like, in this deck specifically, like, you literally just need one of them. Like, you just need 1 Pandemonium. You don't need like 2. If you do open one and then you search the second one and you're uncontested, the second one does come in handy. But there's times where you only need, like, there was times in the tournament where I'm like, all right, I'll just end on the 1 Pandemonium and I'm fine. So, and then Pranks was so good in the tournament. Like, this card is like such a good card. The only time where, like, it got, like, I got super sad on my the final round in the tournament where my opponent drolled me. I was going first. My opponent drolled me, and I couldn't add this add this because I had to send this. I had to use the fancy to send this to make Butler line playable, and I couldn't get this, and this was my extender. So like it really sucked not being able to add this to hand because it doesn't get you that extender that you like desperately need. So, but this card MVP, I want to bump this up to 2, but for now it's gonna be at 1. We'll see. I'm not too sure, but this card pranks like so sick. And then 3 right, 1 Eventual Faithful, 1 Draco back. This engine is broken. Like if you don't have this engine, just get it. It's such a broken engine. It's really good. It's so consistent. I love this engine. Konami, do not ban this engine, please. I love it. And also like the one thing I have to say about the engine is that if you have room to play if you have room to play a second adventure, a faithful adventure, I would play a second one because a lot of players are playing ogre. A lot of players are playing outs to this card. This card, if it hits the board, it's pretty much like GG for your opponent. They want to get this card out of like off the board as soon as possible. So if you have the room to play a second one, I will play a second one. But unfortunately for now, I don't. But I would play a second one. Try to do some testing with a second one. 2 Fusion Destiny. Every time I saw this in my opening hand, I won that game. Like this card is just broken. It's so crazy. 2 Forbidden Chalice. I don't own droplets, so this is the second best other than Imperm, but I feel like this is better than Imperm. Just off the fact that Imperm you have to have no cards on board, rather than like if you have your opening hand and then, for example, if you're playing against Sword Soul and they have Baron on board and you just play into the negate, they're forced to activate the negate. You just chain this to negate it instead of having to imperm it. If you imperm it, they have to negate it because it's getting baited. But I feel like baiting out everything is better, like baiting out everything and then just chaining Chalice to just negate the effect in general, or like chaining this to DPE, because you can't do that with Imperm if they have a DPE on board. So I love this card. I prefer, if you do have droplets though, play droplets, but this is what I have. So, and I'll be honest, there's times where I had to side this card out because I felt like, oh, I'd rather see hand traps in this, but I would still like keep this in the deck. And then the final 2 cards, 1 for 1, and 1 Instant Fusion. 1 for 1 is just another extender. It's pretty good. And then Instant Fusion is just for like people are like realizing like, oh, I would want to play Nibiru in this deck, in their decks, because a lot of the decks see that, oh, no one's playing Nibiru anymore, so like why not we just put in Nibiru, get rid of the negate. If you're playing against a Brave deck, get rid of the Griffin negate and just out your opponent with more hand traps. So more hand traps equals more interruption to like wipe to stop a Brave deck from playing. So with Instant Fusion, with this deck, it's just like another extender. If you get Nibiru, it doesn't adhere to your plays, because once in Nibiru, you can still like combo off if you have this in hand. Make Rocket Ride tribute off, get 2 back, and it's still the same like aspect. Every time I drew this and I got Nibiru, like it didn't even matter. Like I would set up the same board and just go pop off. So that's it for the deck. 40 cards for the extra deck. Tokens, play tokens, and then we play 1 Link Spider. This card is just so good in this deck. Like the amount of times you either use your Brave token to go into this and then like make Gax's code, or make anything to just clear opponent's board is really good. Also, same thing with Pranks. Like that's another reason why Pranks is so good, because it just makes this, and you can make Anaconda and just like pop off. So this is really good. Then we play 1 Meow Mew. This card is just so good. Even at 1, it's so good. Like the fact that like this card just relentlessly, if you keep adding it back to your extra deck and just keep using it, instead of banishing it. It's just so good. It gives you the ability just to continue on and just keep working through your opponent's boards. It's just a grind card too, so it's really good. 3 Doodle-Doo. Just another like crazy card. One of the bread and butters of the card is just like of the deck is like it's really good. But Doodle-Doo is just crazy. Even if this card gets impermed or like it gets impermed Ash or anything, you just make the second one or the third one, and it just helps you out even more. So this card's really bonkers. 1 Bobble Bark. Bobble Bark, just another amazing card. Like there's so many times in the tournament where I would, and on normal board, use Bobble Bark in draw phase, add back my cards, pass to them. They like try their best to like break my board using monster effect, using monster effects to pop my using card effects to pop my monsters. But I would tell them, okay. And they were like, oh, it doesn't discern. I'm like, no, Bobble Bark resolved. And they're like, oh, snap. Like, I should have just, like, read the card. I'm like, and I always tell myself, I'm like, they should know what this card does on resolution. So I'm not, like, and if they have any questions with it, I'll give it to them to read it. But this card put in a lot of work. I only play 1 because I feel like the extra deck space is kind of tight, in my opinion. But to each their own. If you want to play 2, you could play 2. I would like to play 2, but for now, it's just going to be 1. And then 1 Rolling Rooster did not make it all day on Saturday. Did not make it like at all. So this might be a flex spot. I'm not too sure. But I didn't play any Invoke decks. And that was the one thing that this card's really good against is the Invoke deck. Because if you, at the Dogmatica Invoke deck, like if they activate the card that makes you send cards to from your extra deck to the grave, you activate this, you add back any card that was in graveyard back to hand, which is crazy. So I don't know if I will cut it. I just didn't see any back row decks that day. So that's it for the Prank Kit extra deck monsters. Then we played 1 Verte, cards broken. 1 Unicorn. Made it once just for Xcode OTK, and then Xcode. This card just crazy. It's just stupid. For fusions, 1 Rocket Ride, 1 Brother Rusher. 2 Butler. Every time I would make 1 Butler and then like use its effect to tribute pop off. They're like, oh, I got rid of the first Butler, and then I make the second Butler, and they're like, oh snap! Like, what am I supposed to do? I can't do anything, and like they can't out this because you fusion summon and then use the Prank Kid's place effect to make it gain another 500 attack. It's 35. They can't run over it. So, yeah, Butler put in a lot of work as well today. Saturday. And then DPE to round it off. DPE is just, this card's so broken, like, it's crazy. And then for the side deck, played Gamma Package. I saw this I put this in almost every game. Like, either this, it was literally this and this. Like, I put these 7 cards in. I cited in these 7 cards every other game. Like, this combination of this and then just having the other side deck, other hand traps options, like these cards are just broken. Like I'm not gonna change this for the upcoming PPG, but yeah, this is just broken. And then 3 Cosmic, 1 Duster. I didn't see any back row deck, so I couldn't really like side these in. So I really am not too sure how bad or how good they were, but I would assume Harpy's Feathers is really busted. But I'm gonna change these out for Twin Twisters because against Flanders, like this does nothing. So I'm gonna put in Twin Twisters instead of those. And then 3 Judgments and 1 Red Reboot. Again, I didn't side these in at all. Like only a couple games I did side these in and this in, but there wasn't that many games where I needed to side these in. So I'm probably gonna change it where these are going to be another hand trap or something, but I'll probably keep this in. Just back row decks are just like bad for the deck. And then that's it. That's it for the deck profile. Hope you guys liked it. Again, 40 card deck. Everything else is up to like preference or change depending on your locals or depending on the event you're going to. Yeah. Shout outs to the Wranglers. Shout outs to Darian, and then Shout outs to Chupacabra Games for getting me back into the game and getting my first invite. So really happy about that. And yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Thank you. Bye bye.